Hello, welcome to Boston by Nine. As we are joined, after a fairly ruckus display, after having the shit scared out of her, it's still late enough in the evening that Alec and Alice walk into a bar. Alice's hair is kind of just after being pushed down, really, after flying around in the car. That makes her feel a bit better. They take a seat, almost kind of trying to rest. The bar itself is a bit jazzy, a bit funky. It's very strange because she can hear the 20s music. She can hear it. As Alec holds her hand, he seems to walk up the flight of stairs as she recognizes this is a VIP area they're going into.
She really shouldn't even be surprised anymore. Alec is like the fucking key to the city. Yeah, she just keeps hold of the hand, follows him up.
He knocks on the door opens, and you walk in, and well, you're in this kind of a nice, expansive room, and everything looks great. And you kind of sit down on the couches, and he looks over. You all right?
Yeah, better. Definitely better. Like she has like taken a minute upon getting out of the car to like try to like finger comb back the hair and just slap the cap on it. Like that seems legit.
Kind of rubs part of her hand, like probably the shoulder. You look stressed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's been weird.
It's been weird for all of us.
Do you get any more used to it? Like ever?
Depends on what you mean by used to it.
Just the weird levels that seem to be possible.
Some days, yes, some other days, no.
How long does it take to get used to it? Like shoots him the little look like but
It's important that you're not used to it.
oh
You
great.
shouldn't want to get used to it.
It's just kind of that scrunched face of don't you tell me facts that make sense.
In the end, we have to preserve what we are, in some aspects at least.
Yeah, it'd just be real nice to not be shit yourself scared.
We're all scared.
You're all better at hiding it.
I
Like
chase it.
sheepish rubbing the head.
Smirks. I chase it.
That's different.
Is it?
Yeah,
Maybe it's my way of coping.
I like your way of coping.
We look around, as people are down drinking, but this place is very far removed. You know what I mean? It's almost designed that way. You can just observe people. Why did you never tell me about your father?
Um, kind of like out of nowhere is kind of taken aback, so kind of glances over. I mean, it's not generally the kind of thing a person talks about. You don't go on a date and be like, "Hey, want to hear about the time that my dad lost his shit and
Hmm.
beat my mom to death or nearly?" It's not exactly that is not sexy
But
or endearing.
when we were more private, what did you not tell me? What were you afraid of?
I don't know. I don't know that I was like I'm afraid you're gonna blame me or
Why would I blame
anything
you?
like that. Just I don't like to think about it.
Why would I blame you?
I mean, I know you wouldn't. It's just a common fear. It's kind of horribly normal, but no, I don't like to think about it.
Why?
And she starts just kind of like the dumbest sound starts coming out of her pocket as she's like clicking the little, essentially the lock screen on and off on the phone.
You reach and takes that both of her hands. She feels that ice cold touch. It's almost like no.
I mean, would you want to just sit and think about it all the time? Would you want to tell someone about it and have them, I don't know, feel sorry for you?
You don't want anyone to feel sorry for you.
Doesn't change it.
No. Well, why do you not want anyone to feel sorry for you?
I mean, sympathy is all well and good, but it's not the same as pity.
Do you see being sympathized as a weakness?
No, sympathy is fine. Pity is what most people just turn to because they don't know what else to do. So they just go, "Oh, you poor thing," and that's that doesn't help. That
Have many people done that?
no, I don't usually talk about it.
Then how do you know?
I
Again, he's
mean,
not saying this with any like harshness. He's just
no, he's
it's
just
very
keying in.
it's just very innocent. It's actually very innocent the way his expression is. It's like he genuinely wants to know.
I mean, it's not like I've never told anyone. It's just most people just they just turn to pity. They don't know how to sympathize with something like that they've never been through. So I guess they just I don't
And
know. It's
what
frustrating.
what do you expect them to say if they sympathize compared to what they say if they pity?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. You obviously have it set in your mind. So what do you expect them to say?
It doesn't mean it's well thought out or makes sense.
What do you expect them to say?
You know, it's not a saying thing, really.
All right.
Someone who understands and sympathizes. Yeah, they'll say that's terrible. They'll say the same thing anyone says, I guess, but they don't tiptoe around it like you're a kicked animal that they're afraid of startling.
So you would rather them be blunt with you.
I don't want to be treated like I'm made of glass.
Nods very slowly. But what happens if they are afraid to hurt your feelings or bring something upsetting for you? Is that sympathy or pity?
She kind of I mean, it's deviated enough that she's not like trying to get her hands back or anything. She probably starts kind of idly just rubbing the thumbs over whatever part of his hand is underneath them, whether it's a finger or the back of his hand or whatever. I guess the difference is that pity is kind of useless. You say something dismissive and you move on and you try either
And what
to.
what happens if they don't know quite how to say it?
Sometimes you're just going to hurt someone's feelings.
What happens if they don't know how to ask the question?
She finally kind of turns and glances. Is this hypothetical?
Of course.
He grins, saying that.
I'm curious. I told you I wish to know you. You have shown me something that hurts you. I want to know every aspect of it.
If you want to ask, you can just ask.
I'm
And
already
if I don't
asking.
want to tell you, I just won't.
I'm already asking. I want to know how you feel. I told you, I am learning every aspect about you.
I feel like she finally like pauses and reclaims a hand just long enough to rub her face. Hey, what was the base question again?
Why do you hate people sympathizing or pitying you? And why did you not tell me about it?
I don't hate sympathy or wanting to understand. That kind of shows you give a shit. But someone who will make consoling noises and never try to understand or just dance around it and treat you like it changes anything. Pity doesn't. Pity's a useless gesture, really. Sympathy, understanding, that's different.
What happens if they're not from the same world as you?
What kind of world?
They may not have the same experience,
Um,
but still try and feel and still try to understand, but they don't have the same. They don't understand the same pain because they've never felt the same pain you have. Are they wrong for trying to help you in their way? Is that
no,
what you feel?
no. I mean, I guess it depends on the person, too. Some, I don't know, if Samson came up and started probing me about it. I mean, Samson's great, but I don't know him that well. It'd be different than you asking.
So it requires trust.
Yeah.
Did you not trust me? Is that why you did not tell me?
No, I don't want it to be the basis of what we're doing.
Did you think that I would make it the basis?
Most people would.
Nods again, like okay.
It's not a judgment against you. It's just, yeah, it changes people's view.
What
At the
did you
risk
think I
of
would
being
what did
really
you think
crude.
what did you think my view would change into?
I don't know.
Gives her a skeptical look.
I mean, God, I don't think I've ever thought about this hard. Most people, I guess, I'd be afraid that they'd either decide they didn't want something that was broken or wanted to keep it just so they could put it under a glass case.
Do you see
That's
yourself as broken?
she actually just like no shit, like kind of falls quiet for a minute. I mean, I kind of got the king of all daddy issues.
That's not an answer. Do you see yourself as broken, Alice?
We're on some days than others.
Do you think Ivy's going to keep you in the glass box?
I don't know.
Is that what you're afraid of?
Most of what I'm afraid of with Heidi, or wow, with Ivy, is just that I'm gonna. I mean, we're all broken. I just don't want to make the cracks any deeper for her.
I see. Hmm.
The bad days are pretty ugly. I don't want to make them worse.
You're afraid she'll turn you away if you do.
Oh, I just don't want to hurt her.
And if you hurt her, what do you think will happen?
I mean, probably an abundance of bad things, but most importantly, I sure as fuck wouldn't like myself afterwards.
Even if you did it by accident.
Yeah, even if I did it by accident.
With
There's no
control.
hesitation.
With no control over situation that you could not possibly have any control.
Yeah, I'd probably still blame myself. At least a little.
Nods again. Notice he doesn't try to change your opinion. He's just, I understand. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe it'd be different with someone else, but I don't know. Wouldn't you feel kind of the same way if you did something that hurt Caroline, even if you didn't know better? Even if it was a mistake?
I have hurt Caroline before. It comes with the nature of growing. It is inevitable. Does not mean it is a bad thing. We all grow. We all evolve. Does not mean though that we lose them if we hurt them. No matter how bad the fear is.
I guess not. Just. I'd hate to be the reason she was hurting. Even if it was something I had no idea was wrong.
Touch her cheek. You have a gentle soul.
And yeah, it soothes her down a little. She's gotten a touch tense over the course of the conversation, but mellows out a little. It's a really nice way to put it.
Thank you for telling me.
Can't think of any reason not to.
I would understand if you didn't. I would understand even more now.
Are they up there by themselves?
Yep.
That's yeah. I trusted you when you dropped me off a building. I think I can trust you to answer a couple questions.
Some people cannot. Some people, that trust is very, very different. I wanted to see what your trust is like. I'll make no judgment on it. I just merely wanted to see it. I told you. I want to know you. Every aspect.
So just a faint, fond kind of smile. She finally like nudges over, goes from sitting upright to like the lean on him. I could be okay with that.
So when are you moving in?
Sort of half moved in already, aren't I?
Pretty much. Shared havens are not uncommon. It's just people who have paranoia about havens and sharing.
Yeah.
But I get up before you, so I'm fine. Pats her on the cheek.
She kind of grins. How do you do that?
It's always been the same way.
Oh, you've always just been a morning person?
Apparently so.
How long before me do you wake up?
Few hours.
Oh. You just lay there the whole time?
Not. I like studying you.
Well, it's her turn to kind of idly reach up. Just kind of touch his cheek for a second. Yeah, that should probably be creepy. There's the tinge of a playful smile as she says it.
Well, get used to it. You have discovered that I have merely taking you because you are the Harpy's child. No other reason. My evil scheme has been revealed.
She kind of shoots him this incredibly skeptical look.
Smirks. That is how ingenious I am.
Oh, little did I know.
Are you going to ask me anything?
I have a lot of stuff to ask.
Well, what do you wish to ask? Versus what are you afraid to ask?
And there's like the point, like, see what you did there. What about you? That whole question about what if someone wanted to ask you something, but they were afraid it would bring up something bad or it would hurt you?
It depends on who's asking. Gives
Hypothetical
a smirk.
question, of course.
Gives a smirk.
It's finally a little more. She's easing up. The grin is kind of sticking around. Naturally, hypothetical. Purely hypothetical.
It depends on who's asking.
Hypothetical questions are never hypothetical. Reaches up and like pokes the end of his nose.
If it was you, I would be as honest as I could. If it was Caroline, I would be the same. If it was Samson, I would tell certain things. But he does not like to hear about certain things.
Can I ask one that's kind of scary?
Sure.
And she actually will take a second to try to orient on him and figure out if she can find that little bit of shadow, that little weird inconsistency that hangs out around him sometimes. She isn't sure if there's a trigger to make it appear, but
Nah, it's the lightning is too well lit. If you get what I'm saying, you know what I mean? It's
yeah, it's
nah.
something that whatever the case may be, whatever reason she can't see it. So I'm still scared to ask.
All right.
She kind of nestles for like more firmly up into his side. Maybe breaking eye contact is what finally does it too.
Yeah, he just starts running a hand idly through her hair. All right.
Oh god. Um it's really like there's a comical amount of shifting that happens as she tries to find a comfortable point, like anything that kind of gives her the nerve. And finally she settles there and rests her head against his shoulder. And finally we'll try to find the fucking gumption to spit it out. Do you see her too sometimes? Or am I
See who?
I don't know.
I don't see anyone.
I don't see her right now either.
Well then, you get a peck her on the cheek.
The last time I tried to ask, she told me it would hurt you.
Well, I'm glad you didn't. And you, even if you did hurt me, copper cheeks, I'd forgive you. Mostly.
Oh, mostly.
Mm-hmm. I would, you know, we would have to work out deal.
Deal. What?
Yes. You would clean the house for a week, says proudly.
Don't you literally pay people to do that?
Yes.
There wouldn't be anything for me to clean up.
Exactly. It would just be boring.
So I'd have to clean the house for a week, by which you mean change nothing and just do what I always do because the house will be clean anyways.
Yes.
It's not even boring. That's just silly.
Smiles. Eventually, you actually hear the door open.
And glance over.
Da-da-da.
Is he immediately shifting at all or doing anything?
He'll glance over and you kind of, there'd be like an eyebrow raise, and he'd be like, Caroline.
No, she's comfortable staying right here.
She'll kind of smirk. Alec. Kind of just gives a raised eyebrow at Alice. I take it you two are enjoying yourself. I'm not interrupting, am I? Alec could just shake his head idly, like, no, no, you're good.
Of course not.
Just strides in. You know, so there's an entourage with her, but they kind of just go disappear. Flick of her hand.
Skittle, they scutter. Zzz.
Walks in and sits down. I heard you two were at the Roman baths.
Oh, word travels fast.
It does. Smiles. You are looking very well, Alice.
Alice resists the urge to fuck with her hair again because it is where it is and there's nothing she can do with it short of a hairbrush. Thank you.
Alec, would you be a dear and make sure that Alexander has actually gone to get me a drink? You just shrug and ease up off Alice and go, make sure the ghoul has not lost himself.
She'll sit herself up. There may or may not be a certain level of damn it. Because the comfy, it's gone now.
When Alec closes the door, Caroline will lean forward. I heard you danced with Romanov.
And she's finally kind of sat properly upright at this point, and admittedly, this is not what she expected her to lead with. So there's like the slight curious eye narrow, not suspicious, just kind of curious. The tiniest little tilt of the face. I did. Yeah. Was
Again. It was beautiful.
It was.
She nod. And again, Caroline is stunning. It's those eyes, man. Like Jesus, you know? I'll even zoom in to show you.
Alice has never felt more like the ugly girl at school than she does when Caroline is in the same room.
And how have you really been, Alice?
Oh, I imagine it's pretty usual new kid stuff. Confused, terrified, hungry, not hungry.
I do hear you and Alec are sharing. Havens, at least. So smile.
There's a pause. Torna. I know she called at least once while Alice was there.
Yes.
How much was she over during that period that Alice stayed? Like, there was probably a period, like, while he was going through that whole anniversary thing where she legit just stayed every day.
She visited a lot during the anniversary period. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Caroline was over. She never addressed it, but she was always like, oh, hi, Alec. You know, it was that type of issue. You know what I mean? We're not going to talk about it, but I'm here. You know what I mean? It was odd. It was actually very motherly.
At least until lately, it was something of a prolonged sleepover. You saw me there.
I did. Better than the other thing. So many promises she made to him, yet scattered in the wind. Idle flick of her fingers. But
Did
then
she?
again, that is always the nature of madness.
Is it?
To look over, doesn't look like she has any sympathy on her face, but almost just this pondering thought. Am I
I'm
wrong?
not gonna say you need to roll for it or anything. There's almost an immediate like it's subtle, but Caroline's a social monster, so there's definitely a kind of a defensive tone.
Oh, I'm not trying to insult you, my darling. Don't
What?
take it like that. I have always adored and respected your clan. Some of my closest. She smiles. She actually smiles to herself. Loves and friends have been Malkavians.
At the risk of asking something I shouldn't, what did she do or not do?
She lean forward. I see. You have encountered Rose.
I have.
And why is that such an interest to you?
Usually this year's model is an improvement on last year's.
She actually extends that perfect little hand and just pats the side of your cheek so tenderly. And oh, wow, she's warm. She's the polar opposite to Alec.
Is she actually like warmer than usual, like warmer than Blush of Health?
Yeah, it's like you can actually feel that little bit of like beat in your hand. Because the creepy thing about Caroline, for Alice, you know the way you trying to make yourself breathe and make yourself do all that? It's like she's doing that naturally.
Yeah,
So
I mean
every
Alice is warm. The like she has yet to encounter someone who is warmer than her. Most people run about the same temperature if they run a temperature at all.
what is eerie for Alice is you've seen her aura. Without the aura, apart from that, you would think that Caroline is even more human than you would be. That's the eerie thing.
Yeah, if it's a slow enough pat for her to pick up temperature, there's actually it's minuscule, but yeah, she takes note because that is new and different.
Why do you want to learn how my Alec was hurt by a little rose?
Generally, the purpose of learning history is to avoid repeating the same mistakes.
And what will you give me if I tell you about Rose? What will you tell me? I'm curious. I don't want a boon. Spreads her hands out like, bleh. That is not a wordy trade. So, a secret for a secret. That was my favorite game when I was your age.
It isn't really a secret, though, if multiple people have seen her do it.
Oh, of course, but there's only just us two up here.
So, with a little patience, I could get it for free.
Do you think that?
You'd think the incentive would be my interest in actually making sure I don't repeat the mistakes, as opposed to
I'm gauging
secrets.
you because, well, I'm gauging what you are. I know whose child you belong to. I know what you are. I know how your sire likes to play her games, and Ivy and I get on fabulously, but I know what she is at her core. So it is a healthy suspicion to have of her beautiful child, coming up to mine.
There's kind of a thoughtful lean back. I
But I've
assume by
watched.
now you've clocked that I'm not Ivy, though.
Oh no. If you did, I would have ran you out of the house. No, you and Ivy are very, very different women. Smiles at her.
Is that a good thing?
Yes. Yes, it is. Being the same is boring. It's predictable.
Well, I should hate to be boring.
Would you?
I feel like if I was boring, I wouldn't have gotten into this room.
No. Now, what secret will you tell me, Alice Brigham, if I tell you a secret of Little Rose? You better hurry before your darling Alec arrives back.
To be fair, I asked for a secret. You haven't asked for one. What would you ask in exchange? Not fair to leave the floor open.
Something. Smiles. Something that you think I know I would enjoy.
I don't dare think I know you that well.
I'm not asking you to know me. I'm asking you, what is your perception of me to make the choice? Very important thing.
Is there any guarantee that the secret isn't shared?
This is a room. I need to lean forward, and if I wanted to share the secret, do you honestly think I would have wasted my time indulging your game?
It's kind of a brow quirk, because, come on, man, this is your game. What the fuck?
Smiles at her.
Perhaps it's to my detriment that I've never played Secret for a Secret with any guarantee that someone wouldn't go and babble it later.
This is not the most exciting part of it all.
Certainly shifts the gauge on what's up for bidding.
Exactly, Alice.
Hmm. And again, I suppose if it was something that was available through any group of people, much like any stories about Rose that anyone else has seen, you probably already know it. Does the secret still count if it's something you already know? If the whole point is to see what I'll tell?
Yes.
Hmm.
But then I might steal something else off you. There's a wink. Oh, wow, that was, yeah, she gives you a wink. You're like, oh.
There's just that moment of like, wait. It's pretty blatant. I'm not even gonna pretend it's not. It's just a wink, and Alice is just like, wait.
I mean, an appearance 5 just winked at you, and you're like, buh.
Hmm. What would you want to know? Like she actually like does the prop the elbow, start idly like rubbing at the jawline with the back of one of her fingers. What would you want to know that you probably don't already? Better yet.
Clock's ticking.
Hmm. Not if I value my secrets too much.
Well, then I'll steal something off you then. Wink.
I don't remember that being the parameters of the game.
Oh, wow. She interlocks her hands with yours.
Yeah.
So warm.
It's just one of those things like, how did she get my hands? Fuck.
Come closer. Don't worry. She plays this playful mock bite. I've already eaten.
It's just, again, the kind of brow quirk because, she finally did get that talk. But sure, fuck it. She'll shuffle a bit closer. I imagine it's like a booth situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You don't want to tell me?
Most of the things worth keeping secret are worth keeping secret for a reason, wouldn't you think?
Depends on your view of what's worth keeping secret, little girl.
I suppose it is. Most of the secrets worth telling are the ones that most need to not be told.
Ah, I see. And you'd refuse even if, say, it'd mean your head rolling on the floor.
I suppose that would be a different circumstance than a
Mm,
game of a secret for a secret.
I see, and you don't want to play the game.
When most of the secrets I have involve my clan or him. No.
See? And Alec is now a part of your plan.
What?
Is Alec now a part of your plans then?
Said my clan, not plan. Like Malkavians.
Ah,
So they either involve my clan or Alec.
hmm, I see. Well, then perhaps will you indulge me?
In what?
Stealing something.
Quirks a brow?
See, simple yes or no.
What do you mean?
Can't tell you that. That would spoil the indulgence.
Stealing something from me.
Well, stealing something.
It's one of those things where you can tell she's weighing because she's almost curious enough to say yes.
What are you afraid of? After all, you and my Alec are so close. Merely wanted to observe.
Doesn't it kind of defeat the purpose if I give you permission to steal it? Is it even stealing anymore?
I'm curious, would you? Most mice don't run fully into the tunnel. They like to scurry their way out.
It is a very strange metaphor.
Well, the answer. Tick tock, tick tock.
What do I get if I indulge you? The brow kind of quirks playfully.
The fact that I indulged you. The fact that you're indulged by me.
All right, Tori, you might have to phrase that different for me.
Okay. Hang on.
Just the privilege of getting to indulge me, or was it supposed to mean something else?
Don't worry, she's coming at you with something. Because when she kind of fudges her own phrasing, she's like, "Fine, here it comes."
Oh God.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She leans forward, and those eyes, man. I'll even zoom in on the camera because those eyes.
Oh God. What's she doing?
Because doesn't everybody like to be the subject of indulgence every now and again? That is a seduction roll.
It's ironic because Alice doesn't generally swing that way. It's not beyond the realm of possibility, but
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
yeah, it's one of those things where she wasn't ready. She wasn't ready to the point where, like, she does that thing where the mouth kind of opens and closes and she's not sure how to react. Just like, essentially, like, just the mouth opens and closes and opens and closes thoughtfully again. The brows kind of tweak together. Finally, she's just like, oh.
Oh. You can assume whatever you think it may be, but don't you like to be something that's indulged on, Alice? Whether it's whatever your mind is thinking or whether it's not that at all. The fact it's you are all indulging it on.
You ever seen someone do like the I'm uncomfortable but aroused, like squirm? Like the little dance, it's kind of what's going on. It's like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm pretty sure it's inappropriate and I don't know what to do.
So, will you?
I wow, it's taking him a really long time. Like the man, I'm gonna
Almost
avoid this
saved
fucking
by the
question so hard.
almost as if Saved by the Bell, but like just before he steps in the door, like she just leans right forward like that. But Alex steps in, saved by the Alec, as he kind of pauses and stares at the two of you. Caroline kind of leans back, smiling. Alec, is everything okay? You close the door.
Man, she has. Okay, I'm not going to say she's never looked so relieved. I'm pretty sure she looked more relieved, like just earlier tonight. But she still looks pretty relieved.
Caroline just say, girl talk, sweetheart. Anyway, I must take my leave. You just stand up and gives Alec a big tight hug, you know. Turning will, if Alice stands, I'm assuming she does.
Yeah. Yep.
Alec turns to sit back down, you know what I mean? Like he actually turns his back, and Caroline will hug Alice. She'll whisper into Alice's ear. So close. So close to getting it. And she licks the side of your ear.
Yeah.
When she does that, she just whisper, you gave it up too easily. She just winks as she starts to walk towards the door.
The vaguely constipated look she's shooting after her is pretty entertaining. I'm not gonna lie.
Alec like finally turn around as he like pours you a drink, and he sits down, hands it over to you as he lights a cigarette.
Oh yeah,
You
she like flees to sit next to him. Like, ugh.
are you all right?
At the risk of sounding like every mundane girlfriend that ever existed, she says as she's like kind of rubbing at her ear, "Your mom's weird."
What's wrong?
Pretty sure I just lost a head game.
Mm, rubs the side of his head. That's why she sent me out to the ghoul.
Yep.
I should have seen that one coming.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I assume she acts like this is a thing she does casually and regularly. Ugh.
Caroline is a good sire. She likes her indulgences, her games, but she means well.
What's with the indulgences? What?
She sees them as entertainments that she used to teach us when we were younger.
What
How
did you
to
teach?
how to know someone, how to talk to someone, how to, as he very tenderly rubs his thumb along like her shoulder, down along the skin, how to be
Slowly,
alive,
slowly starts disarming.
how to be alive with someone.
Yeah, it's not creepy when you do it. Leans in.
Softly rubs the top of her head. Do you want to go back to our house?
I'm okay.
I mean, I don't mind. I've got a lot of movies that we could watch. One's with me in it, actually.
What?
I was a stuntman.
Oh, that's right.
They're Russian, though, so you'll have to prepare yourself for the terrible acting.
Is the acting that bad?
Yes.
Are the stunts at least good?
Yes.
Grins.
Smiles. And I was in a Russian horror movie.
What, really?
It was not a very good movie.
Well, yeah, but bad horror movies are like their own genre.
Well, takes her up by the hand. Show me.
What, my trite love of really bad horror movies?
Tonight is all about you. So, we are going to watch all your bad horror movies together.
You do all that
What do
just
you?
because I like them.
Yes. Smiles. So, do you want to leave or not? Or we could wait for Caroline to come back.
You know, suddenly that seems like a great idea. Let's go back to your place.
Just loops his arm over her, interlocking the hand, and they'd stride out.
They do.
So do you want it there?